We salvaged it though. We sat on a picnic bench, had some drinks and some food.
We actually went out ourselves yesterday uh on one of the trails up
Salvaged
here
it though. We sat on
or
a
down here.
nice.
Um Unfortunately it was to train John how to ride his bike.
How's that going?
He actually did fairly well
Mm-hmm.
considering the hiccups. Apparently we need to adjust his seat because it's too low and like adjust everything up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that low.
He grew.
Uh, he did, apparently.
Yeah.
Since the fall or summer.
Big it.
But yeah, he did surprisingly well considering those limitations. It was like watching a gorilla fuck a football, but sure.
Oh my God.
Nice. Nice.
He had a lot of spills,
Yeah.
but like he was recovering from them very well and he was getting right back on it.
Awesome.
Wow.
So, and considering like his knees were like way up here.
Yeah. That's hard. Now, were you guys riding along with him?
No, we don't have bikes here right
No.
now.
Okay.
No.
Never.
I don't remember what happened to them. I think they got stolen at our last place.
Well, when we fix our second tandem, you guys can come ride with us. Do you think you guys could ride a tandem, or or you guys, or would it?
Probably not. I've
No.
never ridden a tandem bike
No,
ever.
never. Not even like
Never.
down the
The-
shore.
No. Well, number one, I've never
I don't
been
go to
down to the
the
shore. Like I generally I avoid Jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I used
Yeah,
to
good
ride
way to live your life.
It is.
I,
Yeah.
I used to ride bike all the time down in Florida on the boardwalk. So,
Yeah.
but like never with a tandem bike.
Well, it's like
Was I
the
gonna do that with one of my surf buddies? I'd be pretty freaking gay. No offense, no offense. Good game,
no
but
offense.
no
Nothing has
offense.
anything wrong with being totally gay.
Absolutely not. But when you're a dumb bro kid, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Anyways,
Anyhow,
speaking of bros, what the fuck is going on in our government this week?
where do you want to start?
Oh God.
What the fuck? We're transmitting clearly, obviously, classified material, claiming it's not classified material when it has always been considered classified
Yeah.
material. And anybody who had ever done something so stupidly,
Yes.
brazenly idiotic
Right.
would be planted under the jail.
That's true.
But
It's
now it's
different
okay.
spanks for different ranks, I believe is the article in the newspaper the military newspaper, whatever that's called.
I suppose so.
Yeah, so they're
I
pretty pissed
suppose
off
so.
about that. It's not, I mean, you spend your life drilling it into your head about procedure and secrecy and making sure you're aware of where you might be compromised and then to have that degree. But to me, and follow my thinking. I think like when they said, "Oh, you should never use Signal because it's been hacked by Russia." Well, I think that that's the point. Like these guys are already compromised, right? Like dude was already in Russia. Like that's the
Yeah.
whole. They're already like they're
Like
already
you're
talking
in
to
Russia
Russia,
and you're doing this.
right?
Like,
Come on.
even if it wasn't insanely stupid, like on its face, like that's hinky at best.
At
To put it
best,
charitably.
to
Yeah.
put it very charitably. What do
Mhm.
you think, Steve?
I think what can you it's the meme, what do you expect when a fuck up appointed by a fuck up fucks up?
Exactly. Right.
I mean, the guy he's an anchor for Fox. I mean,
Like that, and he wasn't even a good one.
no, he wasn't even like the front line guy.
He's like on my level of anchoring.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have put Jesse Waters in there. At least he got the front line guy. I mean,
Right?
maybe a few IQ points better, but you know.
Yeah, that's debatable. But at least he wasn't beating his wife and
Oh God.
raping chicks, allegedly,
Oh my
Right.
and
God.
like drinking every second of the day,
Right.
allegedly.
I love the DUI hire. That's the best. Yeah, and the thing is, it's like the one good thing I'm getting out of it is that they're being annoyed by having to answer questions constantly and being mocked, which is about the most you can get out of it since obviously this is their directive from their handlers over in Moscow or
Yeah,
Russia
obviously.
is you fuck it up. You know, incompetence.
And they're certainly
Yeah.
not being subtle about it.
No, yeah, and not only is cruelty the point, but incompetence is the point.
Yeah.
Want to make this thing just go down in flames, and they picked a real, clown car full of
Doozy.
Yeah.
idiots to do it.
I would not trust anybody else to go down in flames better.
No, these guys,
Because
yeah,
Motley Crue of idiots.
yep.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I mean, and I think Carolyn's right. I mean, they're already in compromise. They don't care. You know what the fuck? Like, what are we gonna do? Have a judge?
Oh no, Russia's
rule against
hearing.
them? Oh no,
We're on the phone with Russia. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
the judge
Oh.
is gonna rule against them. Well, we're just gonna ignore that.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
then.
they
law
already said as
enforcement.
much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do you do? What do you do when that's what your government says? Like, haha, we don't need you. We have a mandate because more people. That's no such thing as a mandate like that. There's any
No, there's not. This is supposed to be
right,
a nation of laws.
right. There's no. Someone gets all the vote and you get to be king. That's not
Yeah.
how it works. It never works. Like
That is entirely why we're not
right.
speaking British right now.
Right. That's
And I
why
don't
we
have
have
a
3 houses.
fancy
that are
British
supposed to-
accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
But
yeah,
I get to wear Hawaiian shirts, which
yeah,
I believe
yeah.
is like completely illegal in Britain. It's got to be completely
It
illegal.
should be.
No,
That's a
it
pretty
should
one,
never
though.
be.
That's a pretty one though.
Hawaiian shirts should be the prioritized mode of dress. You can't fight somebody in a Hawaiian shirt and yeah, or like be super aggressive in a Hawaiian shirt.
I think
I don't
I think
know.
the Boogaloo Boys would beg to differ.
Fair, but they're also a bunch of little panty waists anyways.
I once saw 2 clowns beating the shit out of each other in the morning of New Year's Day after they peeled off from the mummers. So they were drunk as shit and they were beating themselves up, and the one kept going, "Where's my sword?" Screaming at him, hitting them, and they had their hair and they're grabbing each other's wigs. It was the most like I just stood and watched with like it was amazing.
That's a comic brigade right there.
It was yeah, they probably would have won had they done that.
They just beat each other up across the
Beat the
street.
shit out of each other. But I mean, they were ripping in. They were like really mad clowns. So I think you can really fight in anything, I guess is my point.
That is amazing.
It's a state of mind, not the dress.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Steve.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
good way to put it.
You know what though? I expect 2 clowns to be fighting each other.
The press is kind of aggressive, don't they? They
Yeah.
do. Okay, I'll
They
give
do.
you that.
There's a reason kids are scared of them, you know.
They are kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Yep.
But mimes are terrifying to anything with the face weird.
Mimes are very weird and very
Very creepy.
creepy. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It might be
there's-
their Frenchness.
Au contraire.
Oh my word.
So yeah, there's that. The Greenland visit was amusing. I did get a lot of giggles out of that. No one
I didn't watch too much on that because it just seemed too stupid.
No one would
But
visit them. No one.
yeah,
Cheers,
'cause you're
Greenland,
threatening
Greenland,
to
Yeah, cheers to
take
Greenland.
their country.
Ding.
Cheers for
What do they call themselves? Greenlanders, I guess, or I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Greenies.
Red, white, and blue landers. Was
Oh
what
my
we were
god.
hoping.
Oh my god. And they're still going on about that. It's just so annoying. Why do we need Greenland for our safety? What is wrong with us?
Like we have a base there.
I
Like,
know, like we have it for our safety, you idiot. Why do we have
by
to own
that
it?
logic, like every country on the planet
Yes, we need to have it there.
ought to be
Yeah,
owned and possessed by
Right.
America because
you're right.
we have
Interest
bases-
there. Yeah,
yeah.
everywhere, then that's the end of us. And then we need to be like, oh, well, we need that because they're our interest now because they're close. You're absolutely right. It's world domination. It's so bizarre. And they want the minerals. And it's a shame.
I think that might have been like Hitler's logic.
Yeah,
You know, in that,
right.
Poland was, of national interest. It's the same Nazi dumb logic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to expand. They need to have enemies. They need to have some way of
What's an excuse to conquer another, to take
conquer.
another
Right,
world,
right.
and to grab all the
Get
resources
the
in that
military
area,
involved, all that shit.
and
Yeah.
grab all the resources. Get the
On the
military
bright
involved
side,
so your
if they
friends
do
who
do
make
that,
weapons get money.
on the bright side, if they do that, then
Mm.
where do you don't, there's nowhere to deport anybody, and everybody is just Americans.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of what the Roman Empire did before it fell over, right? It just
I'm
absorbed
totally kidding on
everybody,
this,
right? Uh,
but who doesn't know me? I'm totally fucking kidding on this.
it's just stupid.
But
It's just stupid.
it is. We live in the stupid times.
Stupidest times ever. It's so annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so done. I'm so done and angry. Oh God, I go back down.
Did I send you that video that I saw the other day? Well, there were two videos that I meant to send you. One was by John Cleese or whatever his name is, the
Please.
guy from
Yeah.
Monty Python,
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
talking about like extremism,
Oh yeah.
which I thought was really great and like really just relevant.
Just the Dunning-Kruger thing, or
No, no, no. That was a good one too, by the way.
yeah, yeah.
No, this was about like, why you see, a rise in extremism in the world, how it makes us feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see if I can find that at some point during the show.
Yeah.
And the other one was a video I know I sent it to Danny. Which by the way, I got to tell you about that in a minute. Uh, it was about like how to be in like, moments like this where we're fighting for something and you don't want to get like overly emotional and like lose the battle,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
It is like different like, techniques, a lot of stuff that's in like the Five Rings book.
Mm.
Um, if you're, into martial arts, and
Right.
like have read like those
Okay.
sorts of books,
Right.
but it was really good.
Oh, that's good.
We have an article on waging nonviolence that I thought was kind of interesting that I'm thinking about trying to put into a some sort of article format for not for the paper now, obviously, because I'm not ready for it, but maybe for May. And it's got some good thoughts about, kind of what we talked about as far as how protests kind of change under fascism. And there's, historical signs that positive signs in that we have more power than we figure we do. But I thought it was interesting. They mentioned the Czechoslovakia 6 days after the Soviet invasion in 1968. The newspaper published 10 commandments of living under authoritarianism, right?
Mm.
And it's one, if a Soviet or MAGA comes up to you, you one, don't know, two, don't care, three, don't tell, four, don't have, five, don't know how to, six, don't give, seven, can't do, eight, don't sell, nine, don't show, and 10, do nothing. So these are my new 10 commandments moving forward in this world. They speak to me.
Yeah.
That I like that. I like that a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
There's another there's a good short a while ago that was two old hippies, and they're like, hey, I imagine that some kids are going to get into protesting, so let's go over some things. Okay, so when the cops ask you whatever, and it's shut the fuck up. If the cops say shut the fuck up, if the cops want to know why you shut the fuck up. If the cops want to shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Tell you if the cops call your mom, tell her to shut the fuck up. Like it was always shut the fuck up. And I think that's great
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, well, that should be
Oh.
like how you deal with cops, like period.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
that's simply asserting your
Yeah.
your rights to not, incriminate yourself.
Yep.
Shut the fuck
Like,
up.
Yep.
don't ever fucking talk to the cops.
No,
No.
no. But you will pay sometimes. Like they will fuck with you if you're not playing along, but you got to, right?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like that'll open up a lawsuit for you because
Right.
you know
Or get you noticed, get you an article, get press, get something. You're on the right side of history, kind of thing.
Mhm.
And it still protects you at the end of the day because eventually you still got to go to court.
Right.
So you might as well not give them any ammo against you.
Exactly. Give
Yeah.
them no evidence. Give them nothing.
I'm amazed. We watch crime shows. I'm amazed how much people talk before they.
Insane.
Some of them don't even ask for lawyers.
Oh, that is the number one thing that probably nails people.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
Right? Because you admit something just because you're trying to get out, or you
Yeah.
insinuate something, and the next thing you know, like that's it. Like you confessed. Oh, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you didn't even know you confessed to anything.
No, no, you know what you're signing. A lot of times people are dumb and they don't know what they're signing, so they just sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's horrible. Shut the
It
fuck up.
is.
Mhm.
I like that.
Number one rule. Number one rule.
Top rule. My favorite
And
rule.
and if you needed the second rule, refer to rule number one.
That's excellent. Or the checklist of 10 rules, which are pretty much variations on shut the fuck up.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yep. Yep. And then
So,
there was,
anyways, back to
Sorry, go ahead.
biking.
yes.
I know we're jumping back here.
No, that's fine.
Danny rode the bike to
Oh.
after a while because John was tired.
Okay.
And
How'd she do that?
apparently
She
her-
must have been.
Apparently her pussy fucking hurts now because
Oh my god.
of like the way the thing was shaped, and it was like she's like it was like being cunt kicked.
Oh no. And it was probably so very short too, so her legs were
It
probably-
was it was, and it was like it's one of those super narrow seats.
Yep.
And it was somehow for some reason angled up. I don't understand how or why that happened.
Mhm.
So John
But,
couldn't ride. John was not riding anymore, so someone had to take the bike.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
funny.
yeah, that was probably the funniest part of the
That
day.
is funny. Yeah, what are you doing?
I was looking for something because I had seen it in a Facebook meme, which obviously is not a great source, but they were providing details about traveling either into or out of the country, and they said that you could have your cell phone confiscated, and they're doing more of these searches according to the USA
Yes,
Today anyway.
apparently.
But I thought I read that they can
Thumbprint.
take your phone, but they can't require you to provide your password if it's locked.
Yes,
Is that true to your knowledge?
yes.
Okay. Oh, good. Well, good. I read it correctly then. Yeah, and then they also said if you're using a thumbprint or a facial recognition to turn your phone off. I don't know if that prevents anything because then we turn your phone back on, then they're going to probably, I don't know, they hold up to your face if they're not allowed to do that. I don't know. But I did
Well,
have the password on.
I would almost never use the facial recognition thing for unless it's like as a secondary,
Okay. Yeah.
thing. I personally use the thumb scan
Okay.
so that, because what are you going to do? Fucking assault me and like
Force your
You
thumb
know,
onto your phone.
force my thumb onto it? Hey, it's probably not going to land correctly
Mhm.
because it's picky with, with me doing it,
While you're being wrestled down, that it's a
yeah.
thing altogether. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how I got onto that tangent, but I figure as long as we're talking about protecting ourselves from intrusive law enforcement.
Yeah, it always have multiple steps and never give always say no. Always say no.
Who's paid
And-
down?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Don't
I don't
know,
know. I
can't
found
do.
this.
I don't know.
Oh, don't tell them that.
I found this. I love that. I don't know. It's not mine. I don't know.
Because then they could take that
Oh.
that phone and then they
No, they
could
couldn't. I'm quite
definitely
attached
get
to it
into
now,
it.
and I've claimed ownership. But-
ownership.
Sorry, finders keepers. I'm referring to the law of finder v keeper. I'm
That's
quite
followed.
fond of it
That's
now.
followed loser v Weeper.
That is true. That is true.
A couple of landmark rulings. In,
Yes. Yeah. In playground.
Well, they're
That's
about on
playground.
par with the rulings from the Supreme Court these
Right.
days. So
Right.
Yeah, these
He
days.
has smelt it, so we rule that he has dealt it.
Yeah, that was funny too when Coney Barrett went against him and gave
Everyone's
the
mad at him.
deciding vote on what was it, USAID funding or
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
funding, and now
Yeah, yeah, now
she's
They
apparently she's
dismantled
not
it. They
mad
she's a
said
anymore.
you
rhino.
can't do that, and then
And
they
she's a
dismantled it.
liberal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Right. Did you? That's that. I don't even understand how that happened. The Supreme Court said they can't cut all that funding, and then this week they announced they completely dismantled it.
Because apparently the law does not matter anymore.
Right. That's one thing. So why do we even have them?
Because
Like, are they
this
going to ask
is
for their roads
a
back?
dictatorship now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
But it's
yeah.
just fascinating. And now that horrible earthquake, no, we're not sending shit. And that all that stuff that went down in here, West Virginia, got really hit really bad in that last bunch of storms that went through.
Oh yeah,
No
yeah.
one's talking about it. No one, no aid, no nothing. Just sorry,
Really?
guys. Isn't that wild?
Oh my Lord.
It's insane. Like we're at least we're fortunate. This is a safe, relatively part of the country. You know, even when we have floods, it's at the low areas. You know, we're
Yeah.
okay. But there are people out Midwest like this is insane, and we're heading into a terrible storm season.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's already
Yeah.
Second one coming Monday.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have an article going up with like YouTube places and things where you can go to get channels that actually give real information. They're meteorologists that or have their own independent channels that are
Mhm.
been doing this. So I figure that's better than trying to depend on the National Weather Service forecast because they shot down Elon took down weather balloons. Like took them
Did he?
down. Yeah. Hey, they're coming down. We don't need weather balloons
Why?
because we don't need them. He doesn't like them. They get in his way. If he wants to launch or something,
Getting in
they're
his
in the
way of what?
I don't know. Elon Musk took down weather balloons. That's what I read today. I mean,
They're in the stratosphere generally, or
I
like the upper
know.
atmosphere. Like,
There's some angle where he can make money off it. That's
Yeah,
much I
balloon
can-
launch
surely.
cut after NOAA announced hundreds of layouts involuntary, whatever. But what Doge did something else. It was him. But also the tornado alarm, the Doppler thing is being cut. Weather balloons popped by Elon. Oh, that's funny. Weather balloons, radio, sun, instruments sent back. Yeah, they actually took them down.
That's insane. Insanely
Yeah,
stupid.
at least, yeah.
We
Yep.
we are being, I wouldn't have mind like a technocratic sort of, efficiency minded,
Well,
governance.
look at yeah.
But like that's not what type of, that is the opposite of what is happening.
Yeah. It's insane. It's obviously Robert Barron's just going crazy. But
Yeah,
I mean,
there's a ton of waste
No one's
in the
against
government. I
waste.
mean, remember the $700 toilet seats? I mean,
Absolutely.
that shit
But
was
mind
going
you,
I
on.
think that
those
was
are what
defunct,
in the
though.
Pentagon.
I mean,
So,
They're still
but
contracted.
God forbid you fucking cut Pentagon.
Right. I was
you
gonna say the
know,
worst is the Pentagon. There,
Yeah,
you think about the
that's
waste there,
waste,
and they're the
yeah.
only they don't have to be audited. That's the only national
Yeah, that's
branch
great
that
that
doesn't
they
get
don't have to
audited,
be
the war
audited.
one. Which
Okay.
obviously they're looking at us for like, oh yeah, food stamps has fraud in it. Oh, you think maybe the war game shit has fraud in it? We can't talk about that, but
Yeah.
they'll learn to go after mothers and disability. They had you remember the the LA wildfires that happened? So when FEMA made announcements, official announcements, they had a sign language guy, signing to
Yeah.
no. Yeah, no, the right-wing people said that's disgusting, and they thought he was
What?
gesticulating wildly as a distraction. So they've cut disability to the degree that there would no longer be ASL interpreters for any official things because they don't like how they're gesticulating wildly, which is like the
That
most
is like the
eugenic
most
thing you could say,
offensive.
isn't it?
Like, what, I say a lot of offensive things, and I say it often to be funny, and sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. That is just like so far in the realm
It is.
of
It
offensive.
is. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that is like a whole another level of bigotry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's eugenics.
That's
These
some
guys
Nazi,
are like
that's some Nazi shit.
Nazi shit. These
That
guys
is
are like,
Nazi
yeah,
shit.
it is. They don't want disability funding. They're cutting that. They're cutting autism stuff, all that shit. They don't want any way to connect with, which is so sickening because we're just learning that like there are nonverbal autistic kids that can type like a speech, and they can communicate with the world by text, what is it, text to voice.
And eloquent.
Like
Yeah.
they can do that now. So we are tapping into nonverbal autistic kids with technology, and they're going to take that away and stop doing that. Why? Why would you do this? It's just
Like
it's crazy.
think about John. Like John
Oh,
doesn't
Jesus.
like to write.
Right,
John has
right,
he struggles with it
right.
because he doesn't like it
Yep,
for whatever reason.
yep,
You know,
yep.
he does much better and is able to relate like
Right.
information,
Yes.
the other kids would
Excellent.
have to write down
Sure.
verbally,
He's got it.
and
Right.
he can off
Yeah.
the top of his head just doesn't like to write it down. Like they're now
Learn,
we're,
right?
gonna
Yeah.
have issues with getting him the services he needs to adjust
Sure.
to adjust so that he can work and live in the real world.
Yep. 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 And it benefits all of us to allow to, now that the better we know that, oh, he's not like stupid, he just learns this way, and he's just one of
Yeah.
these people who really have to learn this way. So there's, everyone has degrees, and some people fall on that side, so there are ways that we can use this, and to our, he can teach them, there are ways to teach and reach these kids and get them active, and there's also benefits to, we don't even know that those brains that work that way might be more inclined to learn other things, maybe by being more orally, involved,
Yeah.
engaged with the world. He learns, he has a different way of seeing things that could help us. Like, it's insane to just think that we know, we know what makes a perfect human. Fuck that shit. It makes me so angry.
But that's what happens when you have the worst of humanity
Yep.
leading a country of human beings.
Insane,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Right? They're just, they,
And we're like dismantling the Department of Education. Like we are literally handing
yeah,
the education of our kids in some places
right?
to like the worst
I know.
states.
Worse, worse, worse. And we know in the past that when it was them in charge, they were horrible. And there was no
And
way
they're
to
still
get a good public.
horrible.
Right, right, right. And it's even, but I mean, it was awful. Like, they didn't even have schools. They didn't even care to have schools. The state can
Yeah.
say, never mind, we don't need education. If you're rich, your parents can pay to send you to a good school. Otherwise, pick some corn, asshole. So,
Mhm.
like, that's literally what we want to go back to. It's insane that it's insane that people are thinking this. Like, people will literally say online, I see them saying like, "Oh, they have a plan. They just have to do this first." Like, that's what they're trying to say. Like, we suck it up and we'll come back with an even
Seriously.
better plan. Like, how dumb do you have to be, right?
Seriously.
I
Yeah.
know, right? We'll just trash it all and then we'll build it better. You'll see. You'll see. Stick around, kid.
If you can't fucking dismantle it in a way that makes sense, why on earth would you believe that they could build it up in a way that makes sense?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's a twofer. It gets people more fired up at each other, and they can yell and scream at each other, which is a win for them. And then the other one is obviously you take the money that goes to special education programs and you just steal it. So I mean that's a win-win for those guys right there.
That would be a win-win for them, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we want to see the John Cleese on the advantages
Yes.
of extremism? I must warn
Yes.
you, if it has a license, if this is licensed, we may be off the air. They may bump us.
Oh,
I'm fine with going out like that. No, not bump us for real. They'll just shut this live down. And we're already at a half an hour, so we might as well close out with some Cleese.
okay.
So we'll
Sounds
still
good to me.
talk. We won't lose it. We'll still be online to each other. It's just that
Yeah.
you may be like, we'll end it. And if that's the case, see you, YouTube. We'll wrap up with ourselves. So let's share the.
You got it, because I was about to go look for it.
No, I got it. I got it. It's 2
Awesome.
minutes long. Let me. Okay, and share. Do we see it?
I do see it. I see the whole page though.
Oh, I don't know how to.
Expand it.
Is that? Well, hold on.
No, there you go. The arrows.
This one? Oh, yeah. Is that
There we
better?
go.
Okay.
There we go.
Seriously, though, We've heard a lot about extremism recently, a nastier, harsher atmosphere everywhere, more abuse and bother boy behavior, less friendly.
I love the bother boy.
What we never hear about extremism is its advantages. Well, the biggest advantage of extremism is that it makes you feel good because it provides you with enemies. Let me explain. The great thing about having enemies is that you can pretend that all the badness in the whole world is in your enemies and all the goodness in the whole world is in you. Attractive, isn't it? So if you have a lot of anger and resentment in you anyway, and you therefore enjoy abusing people, then you can pretend that you're only doing it because these enemies of yours are such very bad persons. And that if it wasn't for them, you'd actually be good-natured and courteous and rational all the time. So if you want to feel good, become an extremist. Okay, now you have a choice. If you join the hard left, they'll give you their list of authorized enemies. Almost all kinds of authority, especially the police,
Ooh,
city,
yes.
Americans,
Ooh,
judges, multinational corporations,
ooh,
public schools,
yes.
furriers, newspaper owners,
Couriers.
fox hunters, generals, castrators, and, of course, moderates. Or, if you'd rather be an extremist on the hard right, no problem, fine, you still get a lovely list of enemies, but in a different one. Noisy minority groups,
Yes.
unions,
Ooh.
Russia,
Ooh.
weirdos,
Oh.
demonstrators,
Oh.
sponges,
Yeah.
meddlesome clergy,
Ooh.
peaceniks,
Ooh.
BBC,
Yeah.
strikers,
Ooh.
social
And
workers,
moderates.
communists,
Mm.
and of course,
Moderates.
moderates and upstart actors. Now,
Upside
once you're armed with one of these super lists of enemies, you can be as nasty as you like and yet feel your behaviors morally justified. So you can strut around abusing people and telling them you could eat them for breakfast and still think of yourself as a champion of the truth, a fighter for the greater good, and not the rather sad paranoid schizoid that you really are.
That's
This
awesome.
is the exact
Pringles.
description of like the
Oh,
world.
wait, hold on.
Yeah, you got another right. You got
Burger
your
King.
thing going.
Hold on. I can't stop it.
You and
Seriously,
your
huh?
autoplay.
There we go. Sorry. We stopped the share.
Hopefully they won't like knock us off because this I like the commentary
It's
of
good
this, and
commentary.
this is like exactly
Needed.
like the thinking that is everywhere today.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wonder when they recorded that.
30 years ago.
Like in
30
the
years ago,
80s?
he said. It's
Yeah.
hard to believe if it was 30 years ago or 10 minutes. And they're like, 30.
God damn.
Yeah.
It was right on point.
Yeah.
I do love the bother boy.
The bother
That
boy.
That is such a
That's really great.
particularly British.
And it's important to think about that in times of extreme everything. But
For anybody who doesn't know what a bother boy is, it's like basically a thug, a wankster.
Yeah. Professional prick.
Yeah.
A troll, basically.
Troll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your average proud boy.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's pretty
That was
funny. It
talented.
feels good.
he's awesome. I love him. He's so clever.
Oh shit.
That was good. All right.
So do you have a nap in your future today? Are you napping today?
No, because apparently my project's out of tasks, so I'm on cleaning duty today.
Oh, fun.
It's not as much fun.
By the way, it's
No.
there's mixed data on whether habitual napping is good or bad for cardiovascular health. So
Don't
I have to
don't piss in my Cheerios.
I have to,
Don't piss in
to
my
burst the
Cheerios.
bubble. It is what I live for.
That's what I live.
No, it is perfectly awesome.
Okay.
People's heart health.
Okay. Sure.
What's the thing? You ruin everything. Carolyn ruins everything.
I do.
Whatever happened to that guy?
I loved him. He still does.
I
podcasts.
did.
He's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, he
He's
says podcast.
great.
Adam ruins
Is it
everything.
Adam?
Adam
Ruins
ruins
everything.
everything.
Yes.
Yes.
They're fun. It was college humor, and then he has his own podcast. But he's much older now. He's no longer college humor.
Are we all much older now?
No, not at all.
We're young at heart.
You know how I know that I'm much older now? I have like hollow, like my
Oh, yeah.
eyes are sunken in
Yeah,
now.
you can kind of see your skull. Like that's what I do. I look
Well,
up and go, that would be what my skull looks like.
You can always see this thing.
No, but your
And
eye
I have
hole
like the
is like
highest
you can see
forehead.
what your skull is gonna look like with the
Oh
eye
yeah, yeah.
sockets. That's what I'm saying.
It's-
So then you like you try to see your lip, you know, and then you can just look like a skull. It's fun.
It's
It's my
I
mortal
saw that this
exercise.
morning when I was shaving.
Yeah,
And I
it's
was like,
great, isn't
what
it?
the fuck?
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, memento mori. Good stuff.
Yeah. Well,
And
I'm
and
gonna
I,
hit it.
I
I'm gonna.
and I noticed that like my eyebrows
Yeah.
were getting like super crazy, and I was like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I tried. I got eyebrow shavers. I use just because mine get everywhere.
they were. It was like everywhere. It's like,
It's amazing, right? And it like happens like that. Like you'll be like, okay, we're fine. 2 seconds later, you'll look and be like, okay, now they're out. And where were you? Like, right? That.
I was so worried about it. I checked my ears just to make sure I didn't
Oh
have ear
yeah.
hair. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I get a couple of those on the tips here, and I'm like, get out of there, get out.
do I have nose hair like that are
Right.
coming out? Like, I gotta look.
Oh God.
We call it witch
Yeah.
hair.
Witch hair. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Can't have it.
good times. Good
All right.
times.
Well,
All
I've
right,
got
this was
I've
fun.
got a nap ahead, so I'm going to test my cardiac
Good for you.
capability.
Power to the nap.
I'm with you.
All
Solidarity.
power to the naps.
All right, guys.
Have a good one, man.